So I think I'll have a coffee.
Oh, dude. Well, before we begin, welcome back to the Blackbird, Marcin. This whole writing business is
it's very good
trip.
to be here. No, it is. But I really implore you, if you can write, you do this, because it's you have your very good voice. I really like the style of the writing. It's very unusual. I'd say.
I think it's because I'm ignorant of the whole discipline. That's why it may come across as unique, because it's uniquely ignorant, and it's like you'd be finding your way, and you can only use the voice you have, kind of thing. So in that regard, I would suspect, I'm reading it and I'm loving it, and then I'm reading it a day later and I'm thinking, fuck, I should change this or I should change that.
You never do that, to be honest.
So that's when I print it out. Like, I have them in the kitchen there, about 10 pages already printed out, and I've already maybe another 4 to print out, but I'll wait till I get to another 10 maybe, because I don't know where I am when I'm on the phone.
Yeah,
I should probably try to do it on the laptop.
On the laptop is much easier, but you won't have any. It won't help you to reading on the laptop. Whichever screen you have, you could have a big monitor. I don't know, 32 inches or something. It won't help at all. The only way to read properly, it's a paper.
Yeah. Dude, it was some buzz seeing the printout. Yeah. You know, the way it's just your stories on a page.
Oh yeah.
It was like Christmas.
But you see, with this, with the paper, we are the paper folk, because we were raised with the paper. We were taught with the paper. The time you were taught to read, you were taught to write, and you did everything on paper. Yeah. And these things, the monitors, phones, computers, they came at your 20s or even mid-20s or something. So by that time, you were molded and shaped into the paper.
The paper.
Paper folk.
So I've books about that size. I've multiple sketchbooks full of fucking scribbles. Because when I have a guitar in my hand and a pen and paper, I just go writing shit. And then I'll play and then make shit up. And then see what happens. But it's constantly, you're constantly looking for something. You might hear words in the way you play a few chords, and then you write it down, and then it keeps going further and further. Before you know, you have 2 pages of words, story.
One time I don't remember. It was maybe when she was 4 or 3, something like that. My daughter Maria, she came to me and she asked me, "Daddy, play the guitar. I play a little bit too." So she asked me to play, so I'll start playing. I said, "What do I play for you?" And she said, "Can we make some song?" I said, "No problem." And on the go, to be honest, we made I made the song for her, and it's in some poetry book I published. So and then it's mostly that's the funny thing as well. I have 2 kids, Maria and Jan, and. But Maria is the one who's coming and constantly teasing me and prompting to do something for her to write. She loves to write as well, so she's bringing the things to me and showing. She last year she wrote the Halloween poem, very good. It was actually in the Tifam magazine the last year Halloween edition. But then I remember she came to me one day and says, "Daddy, I'm looking for the story." She likes a scary story, you know, she like gothic ones or something like that. She says, "Would you make a story for me?" I said, "No problem." So I'll sat down. I said, "What? It has to be scary, long time ago, and in Ireland." I said, "No problem." So I sat down.
The 80s.
And I write it down, just a little thing called the Lost House in the Mist. It was basically about the house that they were luring people into it and almost like eating it. But then we read it and she says, "Oh, it's nice, but it doesn't hurt. Like I need something that hurts a little bit." So I know, okay, she's 11 now, so she's very conscious, like for 11 years old person. And so I sat down and I wrote something longer, and then I got and I just said, "It looks like a play." It was lying in my drawer sometime, I don't know, maybe a month or 2, but constantly I was going back to it and reading it. And I said, it looks a little bit like a theatrical play. So I arrange it, and I call it the Ghost on Donegal or something like this. The Hauntings of Donegal. And then she read it, says, it's super, but I don't like the format, the play format. So I still need you to do it because you promised me. She's very insistent if you promise
Can
her.
be.
But then I just sat down, okay. And maybe in 7 months, she was coming to me all the time. And I was writing it and she was reading it. Maybe in 7 months I wrote the book for her. Whole novel.
Based on that one.
On chakras, like the hunger.
Yeah.
And it basically starts where in the time when the earth was molded, and these deities, these things like envy, like hunger, and the things like this, they were forming as well. And the one embedded, and the one like hunger, the other ones consider it very danger, because whenever it was approached or whenever it touched another one, it was only taking, never giving anything back. So they decided to bury it very deep under the rocks or anything. And then the house was built on that. And the hunger was influencing the house, and the house starts. So the whole thing, and then they have the like a steward inside in the house who made the deal with the deities under the bedrock. And that's the. I don't want to spoil the story, but the story is very, very. And then you have a woman who was lured into the house, but she was never born and she never died. She was shifting between the times. She was a vessel who was carrying the grief and the lives of the people that they got lost in their lives. So it's very complicated, and it has no. The time is not linear there.
I don't like linear time, man. I don't like it.
And actually, she loved it. She says it. She was reading it a few times. She actually helped me to write it because she said, "Okay, I don't like that." It's actually concise from the stories of the people who used to live or who used to be around the house during the different times.
Yeah.
So and then it's finishing at the pub. At these times when the teacher wants to go there to the ruins of the house, and the people saying you better not.
Sounds good.
But it's just it's a book like this, and she was every time she's coming to me, then I says it, okay, I would really like to write something from Portleash. If I
saw that on your website.
Yeah, if I wanna rest. So I go for the theatrical plays because they're very easy. They're very easy to write. It's taken me 10 days or something to write just the theatrical play. And I asked Maria, what would you think? I said, it has to be comedy. Okay. I said, normal. No crazy stuff has to go inside in it. So I come up with the two of them, the body's missing digit, the cat and the body's missing digit. That's just basically about the cat that was inhabited by the very old and angry spirit.
All right.
And the cat bite the woman found the ring, and the ring was sort of enchanted, and the guy put it on it in the pub, and suddenly he was like almost like a godlike creature, and but then the cat jump in and bite off the finger of this guy together with the ring, and then there is a whole chase around the Portleash for the cat, and the different figures going there.
That sounds fun.
The other one is the other one is it's about the dead guy. No rest for the dead in Portleash as well.
Yeah, I saw the cover of that.
It's about the missing body at the funeral home, and that's a whole comedy. And the characters are the same, like in the body's missing digit. They do the thing.
You should write a book about all the roundabouts in fucking Laois. What the fuck? When we went up to do the course for the coaching thing, oh my god, and we didn't even have to go that far in to Laois. to where it was, but fucking roundabouts, man.
But you know what? That's where you get
worse than Clonmel.
So this is your fault now, because you gave me the very good idea. Even now I have it there. Like I had it. Okay, that's about a roundabout. So it's if I do the comedy, it should feature for a roundabout conspiracy.
Yeah.
So I'll go that way.
I was just like, the brother was with me, and I was. The minute I got out of the car, Nick was he was just out for a cigarette, and he was like, "Oh, welcome to." I go, how the fuck? I did not like Laois, man.
But even if you go to the St. Bridget Hall in Portlaoise, if you go through the, so you have 1, 2, 3. You have 3 roundabouts within a maybe distance of 50 meters. It's a roundabout joined by a roundabout joined by a roundabout. Oh. the 3 beside the church. It's the best. You can get crazy there, to be honest. Sorry, it's 4 because it's you have 1 here, 1 going to the Stradbally Road, and these 2 are just adjoinced, and then you have joining insane. Another one. It's a 4 in the L shape. It's actually roundabout joins the roundabout. Roundabout leads to the roundabout.
Oh, dude, it's just broke my brain. I hate when there's more than one.
But you know what? Long time ago, when I used to work with a security company, and we were going to the banks and everywhere. My friend, he's from the Northern Ireland. He says it to me. Basically, Ireland is one big roundabout.
Oh yeah,
and that's true.
But Laois reminded me of an English town.
Oh yeah,
very English town.
You know why? Because because the Portlaoise, it was the English settlement and
Nick
the first plantation as well. So when the English come, they set the settlement there. They set the plantation and they built the fort, and then they start to deprive people from the raw land, and they start gathering scooping the lands for themselves, and so you say it's a very English town because it is, and a long time till the 20s, till the civil war here. It's
like cut and paste for all the other places, but some places kind of, I don't know, they've kind of got their own quaintness that is more Irish than that is very English. I mean, I remember walking through Limerick a few times thinking, geez, very English vibe, all the red Georgian brick buildings. Dublin is the same. It's just like...
No, but
that's why I started thinking, even today, because of this architecture, are we still under the yoke of England? And I believe we are, politically and everything.
Okay, the one thing which is very very controversial now, and I don't want to go this topic very far, but I talked with my wife yesterday.
Okay.
And she says to me, Jesus, what's happened there in the City West, and this girl, and the story is awful. But I'm not saying about the story, we won't touch that, okay? The only thing is, she says to me, look, these people are coming here and the things. I said, they have a right to come, but Ireland has a very bad policy to admit the foreign people to the especially immigrants. For example, England and France, they have very open door politics as well, but they have a very good reason for it. England, especially, and France, they are post-colonial powers. They have colonies in Africa.
Yeah.
In Indochina, so it's Vietnam and the things like this. They have colonies in the Middle East. So there was India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and all these things.
They followed them home.
So this is a very big burden of guilt in these countries. They exploit these people. They
labor
steal for the labor. They steal they tax them. They steal the goods, the trees, the whatever they could. So it was a policy of robbing these countries and exploiting these people. So now, at least the one thing they can do, it's that they can let them go in.
But they're still robbing them.
But I know. But at least they give this notion. Okay, we redeem ourselves by letting you to our.
Yeah.
But Ireland has none to it at all, because actually Ireland was a colony as well, and it was exploited at the same time. But Irish people, I don't know, sometimes they look very much towards England and they try to do like them. So all this notion of letting the open door policy, of immigration policy, it came from England or from France, probably more from England. But this is totally wrong thinking. But we're not touching this anymore. But I just explained it how it is. Like you said, you on the influence of England all the time. It's art. It's like a architecture style. It's a lot, but it's a way of thinking and a way of perceiving the thing. But on the other hand, coming back to writing and to language, which I love, I really admire Ireland for one thing.
Literature.
No, for the language, for the Hiberno English, you know, because look, you were colonized, subjected. The island was abused by English. They were trying to rid of the Irish native language and everything. But you stood up. You took the language, English language, and you totally twist it onto yourself.
Yeah, that's why we swear a lot.
Yeah, so you did. So you basically created a different version, a different English, the language of the oppressors. You says, okay, if you force us, if we have to do that, we do it our way.
Yeah.
Big people. I won't swear.
So don't let yourself be, edited.
So that's the thing, people. I loved it about Ireland, and then I start to, study the Hiberno English syntax and everything, and I love it. And when I write now, I assume the thing, like I really try to write in this way. Sometimes people saying, "Oh, it's almost like a slang." No, it's not a slang. It's just a different derivation of language.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love that way. For example, this one now, but the I don't have it here. But the Antocras, it's written this way.
Right.
It's based on the Irish folklore, and it's based on the how they call it, and it's based on the Irish mythos as well.
Mythology.
Yeah, but it's said and it's conveyed within the Hiberno English, because I love that. In this little book,
well, it's
you have
more
the one, the 30 years, like this one out. In this little book, you have the whole chapter about the Hiberno English. Because
which one would you recommend I start with?
For you, I would start with this one, or I would start if you want to go. I would start with the Millscap Grinding. It's a war story, war novel. But this one is just 30 essays here.
I'll read that one first.
Yeah, and they're mostly about the writers and the books.
I'll definitely read that one. So yeah.
So for example, you have the guy like Cervantes, the man who wrote the Don Quixote. The wandering knight who was attacking the windmills and things like this, and he had the servant named Sancho Panza. But if you know the writer's story, you would know why the book was written, because it's actually not about the wandering knight, crazy guy who was in the 15th century chasing the. It is actually about the very sore and very difficult and very crazy life of the author.
Mm.
He's almost like this figure of his, like a Don Quixote. He in 1565, I think, he got himself into a duel.
Oh, lovely.
With the guy, I don't remember his name now. Maybe I remember the.
Was that pistols or swords?
No, the swords.
Oh, lovely.
So, and he injured the man. So then, by the royal decree, he was he had to be apprehended and jailed, and then his left arm had to be up to the arm, up to the elbow, has to be cut because it was the punishment for dueling, and it was on the royal court where they dueled. But the funny thing is, Cervantes got like this. He got there was a royal warrant for him. He flee to Rome, so he avoided the hand to be cut. But the other guy who was involved in the duel, he never was punished or anything, because he was a nobleman, and Cervantes, he wasn't. But people don't know what happened between them. What was the cause for the duel? Probably it was either Cervantes slept with this guy's wife, or he insulted him, somehow his sister. So, but the Cervantes went to the Italy and to the Rome, and he was working for the bishop. Then the Holy League went with the war with the Arab states, so he enlisted himself as a soldier. He was fighting, and at the battle of Lepanto, it was like a ship battle. He got hit by the cannonball.
Oh fuck!
And the cannonball ripped his hand, which he was sentenced to be caught. Fate, yeah. Then he was writing his stuff, but nobody wants to publish it. And he did a lot of different jobs. He got a small pension because of the hand. Then he was trying to redeem himself, and he was pleading for the royal pardon, to come back to Spain. Actually, he achieved it after a few years, so he was able to come back to Spain. Then he got a very lucrative job. He became the tax collector.
Oh Christ!
So he was collecting the tax. Many people didn't like him, but then he just got this idea. So maybe I can get wealthy with this as well. So he was putting a little bit aside for himself, but. To be honest, to not draw the attention, he was sharing always with the guys who was that they were checking him, his ledgers and everything. So he always gave them a
bribery.
A small sum. But the one time he probably did not give as much as they expected, so they denunciated him, and he spent another few years in the jail. He tried to even hang himself in that jail.
This guy's not coming across very well. Sounds like an idiot.
And then he was released from this jail, and he thought, okay, this son of a bitch, sorry for that, who denunciates me, I have to set my things with him. So he went there, and he killed the guy.
Okay.
Then he got jailed again for the murder, but he was only 7 months there or so, and he was released. But he was kept in the home arrest, but because no one can prove it. They knew he did it, but there was no proof. So while he was in the home arrest, he starts to writing, and he wrote his best novel, and the best known novel on the Don Quixote. But I think it's about his life, because this guy, this wandering knight, was a nutcase, was just a crazy guy who imagined he seen the like I said, windmills, and he thought that they're big giants, so he was fighting with them, going in the full sweep at the horse and with his lungs, and crashing at them. Then he had his imaginary love, the Dulcinea, the lady. Then he seen the dragons as churches as dragons or something like that. So he was totally crazy. But I think in this way he just wanted to show his life, that he has a crazy life as well.
Yeah.
The other one guy, Robert Louis Stevenson, you have the one who wrote the Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah.
Basically, Jekyll and Hyde, it's about the guy who has a bipolar
uppers and downers.
Yeah, but if you know the story of the writer, where he was born, when he lived, so he was born in Scotland, in Edinburgh.
A lovely town.
Yeah. And he was born, and he used to live with the very old parts at the old town and everything. At the time when he was, I don't know, teenager or something, they start to build a new part of the town, like a very Georgian, nice, beautiful building, white ones, and like I said, very English ones. Everything was, in the line. Yes. The street were designed so all the wealthy people and all the noble ones and the merchants and everything, they moved there, they lived there, and all the poor people or or even shady characters and everything, they live there.
The Royal Mile, I think it's called.
Yeah, and you know what? And if you look at that, the book, the Jekyll and Hyde, it's actually the way of showing the two different sides of the town he lives. It's about Edinburgh. It's not about the guy, but you have to know his life.
Yeah.
And you have to know the history, how it looks. If you go to Edinburgh, you have basically two towns.
I lived in Edinburgh for a while.
Yeah. So then, there's a lot of things. It was built it's almost like an onion city. They were building one things. So you have even the streets and the things you can go under, and the new buildings were built on the old ones, and the streets and everything you can wander it even now. So that's the other story was about the.
But would you think for the authors, is it their standout book that you would think this is the case, or is it all the books that they'll write? It'll be there. Maybe it's like a work in progress through all the other books, but then when everything aligns and it clicks, we'll say their masterpiece book is kind of a collection of the sum of all the parts before it.
I think so.
Putting that story together, and maybe subconsciously, they're all their fucking ups and downs, their success, their failure, and they reanimate it into a symbolic kind of story.
Yeah, most of the books are just conveying the symbolic stories. And, for example, there was a guy named Sholokhov. He wrote the Dawn Flows Quiet, very, very thick book, and a very good book about the Civil War in Russia.
What did he call it?
So
The Dawn?
The Dawn Flows Quiet.
That's kind of cool.
And the Don is a river in Ukraine, and because the White Army, it's straight after the Russian Bolshevik Revolution.
Right.
So that you have basically two sides fighting over the power in Russia.
Yeah. Because
revolution started in 1970, and most people think, okay, the Bolshevik came 1917, then the communists. No, by the fights carrying, it was basically the Civil War, and it was by the late 20s, by the November of 1920, when the whole White Army, the Denikin's force, just get evacuated by to the Turkey. So he basically wrote about the people who struggle, who fight between them. So the brothers kills the brother, and the thing. It was very messy. The Russian Civil War had these instances that you never know who was fighting on which side. There were a lot of warlords and the things that were constantly shifting the allegiance.
Yeah,
depends who was winning or their own agendas. So, and even there, within a socialist or communist, there was a few fractures. There was the Bolsheviks, Mensheviks, and it was so messy and so crazy. So he wrote the book, but the book was actually about the fate, about the human fate, about how we are complicated. The war was only like a background for him.
Yeah.
To show the complicated, of how human being can be different, how everything can shift within you. But then, when he published it, he was praised. He was just all over the world. People just was saying it's one best war novel they ever read. But then it came a revelation. Somebody's accused him that he didn't write it.
Oh, plagiarism or?
No plagiarism. It says because he was a soldier at the Civil War as well. So he was saying, but by his first hand, mostly of these stories. But then there it says that he, in the trenches, somewhere in the trenches, he found somebody's letter, somebody's book. The killed officer. He was his memoir, and based on this memoir, he wrote, but he's still somebody's idea.
Yeah.
So that's.
But did he write any other books? after that one?
No, he wrote a lot of books.
Because surely you could see it's like, I mean, you can steal an idea and do something with it, but when you write other books, your own books, you notice a big difference.
Yeah, but you see, with the writing, I think I know a lot of writers. For example, Hemingway. If you read the Hemingway, early Hemingway, it's very easy. The older one kind of gets very gloomy and very tense, and the words are tangled and everything, because
he did commit suicide, didn't he?
Yeah, but your life it just changes. It's constantly your vocabulary. Yeah. You're going to change. For example, I wrote the play The Facies Hippocratica when I was 19 in Poland.
Yeah.
I left it for 20 years in my drawer and everything. Then I came back to it. I just said, okay, I'm going to translate it into English. So I'll start to translate it. And then I was wondering, it doesn't sound like me. I did not write that.
Yeah.
Who wrote that? But then I realized Marcin, 19 years old, was totally different than the one 50 years old. So I translated it, and it's on my website now as well. I even sent it to you, like the early draft when I translated. I don't know if you read it.
I probably read it.
The PDF. So it's basically about the family that and the whole generations of the family that has different things. It started with the grandma. It started with the guy who committed the suicide after talk with the barman in the bar, and the two parts are in the bar, and I don't want to spoil it as well. But then you have a narrator, but at the beginning, narrator is only like not even watching, but just saying, okay, these, and these. But at the second part, the narrator starts to do like small things, taking the cope from the guy or putting so, and then by the half of
I read that thing.
Yeah, and then by the half of it, he's like you realize that the man who sets everything, it's a narrator. It's just that force, that evil force that pushes the people to do the thing.
Yeah.
But at the end, it comes. He's like a more like a fate. So he's not even bad or not, or not very good. He's just a fate.
Fun.
Yeah. So it's just like things like this. And I don't know from where I get these ideas. For example,
ideas are interesting, no? I mean, are we observers of ideas, or are we creators of ideas? This is a very good question. And another good thing was the way you were saying, to create an image of the character.
Yeah.
And then, study it and then become familiar with it and say, no, it wouldn't look this way. It looked this way or a bit more this way. And then you get a better understanding nearly because you're looking at the...
Then you have the question, like the question is very simple. Are you writing this character, or this character tells you its story and lets you write it?
Yeah.
But if he's all the time pleased with what you're writing, it sometimes it doesn't feel very natural. Like I said, I sent it to you yesterday. This thing which I wrote, the being Volker. I had in this book the milkscap grinding. I have a character called the York Volker, but he's utterly evil character, but not deeply evil. At the beginning, you would see he's just the opportunist who's taking the Nazi regime was something that was almost like a gift for him. He can. He's a psychopath that can do his psychopathic things and has not so ever won't be accounted for it.
Yeah.
Not so ever. So he was so happy that he
thrived.
No, he actually lived and was born in the very right time for himself. But then he just, you could see him developing as well during the book, and then you ask yourself if he's really like so stupid, just a bad person, and totally unconscious of his influence,
yeah,
or he or he knows everything. But sometimes by when he's talking, especially in the dialogue, you could read it, but and then you could start thinking, okay, is this guy really idiot or just a bad evil idiot or just so spoiled, so bad that to this extent that he doesn't care how people look at him or what they think at him unless he can do his things,
Yeah.
That's his story over there, and he has 2 chapters, like a full chapters. So it's not the main character, but when I was writing his parts, I physically felt sick few times. It just even the because I think you have to become a little bit your character when you're writing it. So you have to let yourself in and pour yourself into this character, whether it's good, bad, whether it's
kind of like a method actor.
Yeah, it's not even actor, because actor just conveys the
But they try to live the mindset, the emotion. They try to really become that. Now, a lot of actors just read the fucking script, make a smile or a cry. But some, like Daniel Day-Lewis, for example, who seems to immerse himself into the...
No, I love him as well, yeah.
Into this thing. So it's not Daniel anymore. It's
that's the thing. I think whenever you write something, it's just crazy. It's... but I don't write only the... usually, if I write the historical fiction or this gothic story for my little one. She would probably come along and ask me for something else again.
But it's... if you were to think about it, like, it's a mindfuck. It's a complete mindfuck. I mean, when you stop and take a moment and actually think about pretty much everything, it's crazy. I was watching a conversation take place with this computer programmer. He used to make video games, and then he became some philosopher. He studied all these different types of philosophies, and then he made businesses, and then he sold them all, became very wealthy, and now he's back to philosophy and chasing the question, are we living inside a video game, basically?
Yeah.
And he maintains, that while there might, say you have a stage and there's 100 people on the stage is the world, the people are the species, we'll say, and maybe 50 of those people on the stage are conscious entities, as in to say they accommodate the player, while the other 50 are just there to...
non-player's character.
Yeah, just to fucking fit the story for the player.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the player has their ambitions and their target, and you're aware of that because you're controlling the player. Now, you might get 3 lives, so when they get killed, you don't care. But in the game, the character, he philosophized that the character has a residual sense of self independent of you, the dictator of the character.
Oh yeah.
So they're feeling like if they're getting shot or whatever, and they're like, why me, kind of thing. But they're oblivious to the game. This is their life.
Yeah, I know.
And they're having the worst moments, and they don't understand why. But on a bigger reality, it's you putting you into harm's way because you know it's not really the end for you, because there is no end.
Yeah.
Just infinity only. And it just he extrapolates out into my head hurt. I was like, I'm too dumb for this shit. But it was again, it's just another idea of these people that go thinking these ways, and then it's like everything is questioned. But at the end of the day, the majority of people, they're at a level where it's like, I gotta get money in, I gotta provide, I gotta do whatever I gotta do. I don't have the luxury to be, and that in itself is like a trap, a mind trap, and you don't get to have a fuller life. But then, are you meant to have is that the game you're playing? How to be capable to fulfill all of these questions, like the providing, how do you do it, the toll it takes in the body and mind, the emotional, it just fucking cobwebs out. So that could be just another character. That's his game. Whereas this character over here is president of fucking America or whatever. That's his game. But they're in the same world, and it's just, oh man, it just gets so fucking complicated.
Oh, it is, because I guess the life itself is very complicated.
Unbelievably so.
Look, you have the Martin Luther and his thesis.
Yeah.
Why he wrote them? This is a funny story as well. Because Erasmus of Rotterdam, he was like a celebrity among the writers and the philosophers and for the Christian ideology and everything. Yeah. So he was almost like I don't know, like Don Brown of his time.
Right.
Yeah. So nobody would argue with him, and I give it to him. He was very smart, and he could show the why we believe and why the Christian idea of Christianity is the driving force for the people, for the civilization and everything. But then Martin Luther wrote it, and he says to himself, Jesus, what a utter bullshit. I have to answer to it. I need to address it because it's just it's something that doesn't happen in my mind.
Yeah.
And then he went with his thesis. He did it to contradict and to tease Erasmus of Rotterdam and to show him what is his place, that you were wrong. And that's the Reformation. In the very short story, the Reformation. So life never leaves you at the place where you are. And there is an old proverb in Poland. When you want to make a god laugh, tell him your plans. So, but that's true. Wherever you think you do, wherever you think you are, there always will be your Martin Luther. Yeah. And they're very close to you. So you could think you discovered the new universe, but then you have beside you or behind your back, you have your own Martin Luther, who would say and says, what a bullshit.
Or else you have friends and family that will be happy to tell you what an idiot you are. What are you, stupid? And they don't have to be that intellectual giant. But it is, because, I was never a believer in, to appreciate classical music, we'll say. I never believed that was, we'll say, the sole joy of a class distinction. If you can hear, then it's for you. If you can read, then it's for you. If you can see it all, then it's for you. I don't buy into the man-made fucking bullshit life that we live in. And that's probably why I struggle with it a lot. Because when I hear people try to tell you to do a thing, there's just like a war in me that just was,
I have my own saying that there are only two things in life I have to do. It's the first one, it's to come to this world, to be
arrive.
born. I had to do it because I had no choice in it. And the other one, it's when I die. So the rest in the middle
is yours.
Eventually people can come and politely ask me to do it, but never said anything. There are only two things I have to do it. It's this one. The rest is just a matter of my choice and polite asking from somebody else. If they do it in the way I don't like it, I just turn it around and go away.
But it's like, the way you can train a dog. Certain dogs are wired to be receptive to training and are excellent. But then when their fucking instincts kick in, it overrides the training like that. No matter what the dog is. This is just a natural fact. The training will be obsolete in a sniff.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, I think it's the same to say say you have two very well-to-do parents and they've bought into the whole idea of society and college and the job and are planning the kid's life and are pushing the kid along accordingly to fit the plan. Because in their mind it's like, well, we don't want them being destitute or anything or depending on us when we get older. We want to enjoy our full life. So the selfish aspect is there. And then they're trying to live probably their youth through the child. There's that aspect. But what about the child? What if the child is thinking like you? Well, look, I didn't ask to be here, but now that I'm here, I believe I have a limited amount of time, so I want to get some what I want. And I don't want to go to college. And I don't want to have this fucking job. Maybe I want 20 different jobs in 2 years to see for the experience and see where I'm at, see what I'm about. instead of being, imprisoned in this fucking plan by their parents, which is sadly, that's the case for a lot of folks.
No, it is, and I think the problem here is that most people are not seeing the little people as people. They see them almost like a pet. So, sorry for saying that.
That's
not
true.
not in the way that the pet you pet the dog or the cat or anything, but I remember when I was a small one, and probably my father and the people back in time, that there is a proverb in Poland saying very much about that the fish and the child has no voice. And this is a problem. Whenever a child want to ask you and you didn't want to answer or anything, they were always saying, even my parents, the fish and the child has no voice. So shoot.
Yeah.
I love my parents. They were very good parents, I think. But I was subjected to this a lot. And my sister and probably my mom. And it's a very, very old proverb. And it's a culture in Poland. So, child, even though you're saying that this is a man, this is a woman, and this is a minor. So even the vocabulary, even the name for it, minor. It's just something smaller, something less important.
Yeah.
It's minor. So think about that when you look at your children. And think, okay, that's
just one word that does not come to mind when I look at my children.
They just minor, but and it's used everywhere, and it's used even now. It's used.
But that's falling down now. That's falling down since probably the 60s. That's where rock and roll came from, because those miners learned how to play the guitar and learned how to rebel and let the world know. And it rang like a bell across the globe, and it touched all the other miners, and they're like, "Yeah, wait a minute," and it's like it unlocked something. It just triggered something in them. And then it just kind of, we're still in it. It's still snowballing now. I mean, the internet is kind of like a good and a bad instrument. It's just, I was only talking to a guy the other day, John, and we were talking about this. It's like the kids, we don't like seeing our kids on fucking screen time too much. But at the same time, then it's like, why not? Because there's doctors that will tell you that your brain is better if you're playing video games.
Oh, yeah.
It speeds up shit. And you adapt better to situations because you're on a video game. Whatever you do outside in the real world, your performance levels increase because you're playing video games regularly. Now, I'm not saying all the time, but more often, instead of watching TV, you're reading newspapers or books.
No, because I think the difference is because the video game engages you actively. So
yeah.
it demands of you to think and, like you said, to adapt to the situation.
Yeah.
While when you're watching TV or watching it on
YouTube
or anything,
nearly.
your brain, your mind basically becomes stagnant.
Yeah.
And but coming back to books, the books are spinning your head all the time. The one way to not keep your mind stagnant is just to read.
Absolutely.
Or to write.
But it's like books and paintings.
Yeah, books.
They're still thriving today, like.
Yeah, but whatever, even the visual art, making something, creating something from the void, because mostly books, paintings, sculptures, even the new trends like a bioart and the things like this, everything are just like I said that to myself. It's pulled from the void, so it's like you're reaching for somewhere and pulling your ideas and pulling, and then you're shaping it into the words, into the art, into the sculpture, or into the ideas. For example, shaping the ideas. Then you putting it again into the words. So it's something that
there's a multi-manifestation going on.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like you could be the little bean at the end of a very long string going from one realm to another realm, and you're conducting ideas from here and you're creating them over here. Because there's a different existence over here, so you can't have anything tangible per se. But over here you can. So it's like they're your ideas coming in, or maybe you've just been bombarded.
Yeah, like you have the saying, I think, therefore I am. Yeah, but I always translated this a little bit for myself to transform it a little bit for myself to the slightly different. So I always said I doubt. I doubt, therefore I am. So whatever I look, I don't like to take somebody's ideas. You know, I can listen to them. I respect them sometimes. I don't have to agree with them, but then whatever people say, I first process in my mind, and mostly I reject it or I doubt it or anything, because even if they're showing me the very easy way to do something, for me to comprehend everything, I have to do it my way, even if it's harder, longer way or anything. So this doubting the things, it's not out of without the respect or anything. I usually respect very much people what they say, but I don't have to agree with it, and I usually do my way, even if they showing me the much easier way. But it's almost like
the drive is strong in you.
Oh yeah,
to be you.
No, you have to be you. Otherwise, it's just no reason to be here.
Why mimic?
Yeah,
be original. You know, come up with what your perception of original stuff is. It's your viewpoint. It's your taste. It's your feeling. It's like, you know, when you be working on something and you're like a book and you're working on it like a lot, like years, but you're stuck. You're stuck somewhere, and you finally just walk away from the page, and you go out and you meet some people and you're just talking that has nothing to do with what you're consumed by. But in the whatever they're talking about, whatever way someone says something, it's like it triggers something in you, and you're like, I know how to solve my problem now, and you run back and you finish your creative work. Because something outside of it, sometimes you need to get out, and it's like whatever they say or the way they say it just triggers something in you. It's not like they've given you an answer. It's like the way a flower reacts to the sunshine. The flower doesn't have a brain, yet it can reproduce and make food by just reacting to the sunlight.
Oh yeah.
The vibration in the sunlight and all of that, it goes deep. But it's that kind of thing. So it's not like you have to credit them or anything, because you don't, because they don't even know that they've clicked something for you. It's just, it could be just the frequency that you moved to, just gave you a different vibration that you needed in that moment to we'll say, clear your mind and give you the answer that was just banging at your door, but you were trying too hard to find. It's like I find when I'm painting, I'm trying too hard to impose my fucking. I get an idea, for example, and I think, oh, that's awesome. I'm going to try to do it as fast as I can, get the bones of it, and then I'll flesh it out, and everything will be everything. But somewhere along the way, you start thinking, you know what, make it look better, and that's when you fuck up, because that's when you big time fuck up, and then you try to impose something that's not really yours. Instead of being true to the piece, now you're trying to give it an influence that it didn't ask for. And then you're in the fucking quagmire, then you're in the quicksand, and it's just mud. You're just looking at a muddy canvas. I was like, oh fuck. So that's 6 months of work gone out the window. And there's no getting it back. It's a harsh lesson.
No, it is, but like I said to you before, like when I started this book, the Midscape Crying, I wrote this book actually maybe 4 or 5 times.
I believe it.
And the most of it, I throw it.
Yeah.
I kept the ideas and the things, but I rewritten this book a few good times. It took me like I said, since I was in college, and then I only finished it in 2021.
That's a serious onion.
Yeah,
to be feeling it.
But actually, I felt totally like my mind and everything was ruined when I put the last word in the book. I felt that like somebody's died, I lost a very close relative.
Of course,
especially if we live with the idea 20 years.
Yeah, but all your actions thus far have been in line to finish this book and do it justice. And now it's like you've lived with it. You've been thinking about it. Yeah. You've been crying about it. Been feeling it.
Yeah.
And it's like a separation.
Yeah, it's even worse. It was like somebody who died, and but writing it, I have one problem, because whenever I create the character, it did not fit. It didn't feel real. I said, Jesus, it's very like very dull, very like flat. And then I talked to my friend one day about this. He's a musician. He finished the musical university in Poland. He's a composer as well. So he have this like artistic thing embedded within it.
Yeah.
So he read it and said, "Oh, I like that, but you know what? You don't need to buy, because I have the characters and I had written in the draft one character, because I didn't know even how to name them."
Right.
And then he says it to me, you don't need to go and look around. Look at your friends. Look at the people around you. Name them and ask them if you can use their names, for example, and take the part of them, the best part of them, and put it embedded into the characters, and ask you, would you be okay if I take your full name and make a character out of it? He said yes. So most of the characters, especially because there are two sides, German and Polish side on the books. Each chapter, it goes the chapter about the Germans, chapter about they fate like it's very entangled, but it's just a two sides view. So most of the Polish characters are the people I know, and they were okay. So, but I set the only one rule: if I take something from them, there will be only positive things. The only not positive things which I have about them, it's just totally invented. But the good ones.
They represent good.
Yeah, and actually, all of them, they were delighted when they read it, and they said it was very good. That's the idea. And actually, now when I write it, when I do the books, I look at the people. I don't have to even name them the same names, but I actually have a lot of books. I have a lot of people in next books which I wrote the peculiar incidents of Zachary Blanchard. If you would read it there, you would find the people even you know.
All right.
If you know them, you would see.
It'll ring.
They there. They have different names, but I based these people in the book, which is happening in the 19th century, just after the Napoleonic Wars.
All right.
So it's just in France, in department of Vendée, where there was a Vendéan Wars just before the revolution and during the revolution and after the revolution. It's just peasant uprisings and things like this. So I have it like a reminiscence of that over there. But if you carefully read the book, you would find the people. You know, they're like they're characters. But again, I only took the good things. I never took the bad things from the people.
Can you remember back to your first urge to write something?
When I was teenager, there was a thing like a role playing a lot. Very, very. How do you call it? It was very popular in Poland. So I do the role playing. We were doing the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, D&D, and so basically you have the 4 or 5 guys. Did you watch the Stranger Things?
No.
Okay. You have a 4 or 5 guys.
Okay.
And you have a game master. So there is a guy who conveys the story. You have the dice just to mimic the fate or anything. He's telling the story. The other guys have their own characters. For one is a priest, one is a warrior, one is a... And you just sit and make 4 of you sit and make the story. You making the story and they react it, and then you play. If you have any things that you have to decide and you don't know why, just to be okay, so you use the dice for the shooting, for example, aiming and the things like this. But these are the very real stories. So it spins your imagination. It spikes. I was few times I acted as a game master, sometimes as a player because I like to play. So all of us to have a good story, and sometimes we were playing one story week or 2 or 3 even till it's resolved. So you have to sit down and write the story. You have to sit down and write the plot. sometimes you were improvising, but you had to have a frame at least, you know.
So you created the frame.
So I started when I was maybe 13 or something like that, and since that I created a lot of these stories, and then I said, okay, why not to send them some? But then I just improved them a little bit, make the better dialogues. But most of the things which I have there, they were just our game.
Yeah.
The characters and everything, the names.
So it's just a natural progression for you.
Yeah, so it was very natural, and then I just dropped it for a little bit, and then I just felt very empty. I felt this urge, so I started this book. We had the thing in the school. I remember that we were going to talk to the veterans, you know.
Yeah.
Of
cherry fucking day.
of the
war.
September campaign in Poland, of the war and anything. So I talked to the people, and we were going, helping them, doing the shopping and all that stuff like this. They were very old people, but they like to talk about that. So I sat down and I was talking, and it was so nice, and not so nice. It was so tempting and so luring. That's the stories they were conveying, and it's better than the movie. So I start to write them in my book. You know, no, right. I start whenever I was sitting with them. I did my notes, and then I have maybe 12 of these people, and I have their stories, and it was so good. I realized it. I says, okay. I went to the teacher and I says, what would we do with the other side? So we have all these accounts of the veterans of the Polish September campaign. What about the Germans? How we can see the truth? Well, we have only one side, you know, of the coin. He says, oh, it's very good. But then they start to think, and they did the thing that they sent. They talked to some schools in Germany. They send the people, Germans, to the Poland. They were helping the same veterans.
Yeah.
And we went just to the Germany, and I have to some German school, and then we have to we can talk to the people. I start to talk, look at these people, and then I got terrified because actually I sat down. It was very nice, old gentleman at his 80s or anything.
Didn't tell us what he did.
No. He never said. They never said what they were killing, murdering, or anything. But you could see they. Even at their 80s, they were saying, "Oh, I never was Nazi or anything." But he was, for example, Sturmbannführer in SS, so it was like a captain of SS and the things like this. And you talk to them. He was very nice, polite. He was offering the cookies, tea, and everything. But then he was saying, "Oh, I was only soldier. We did this. We helped the people as well." No, but that's true. It was the true stories. I didn't say no, but you could see that was something behind, something he didn't tell you. He didn't want to talk. He was shifting, his interest very quickly, and you could see there was no. They didn't feel guilty at all. They were proud of who they were. They were still Nazis.
Patriots in their mind.
No, but even at the 80s, if you talk with the Wehrmacht soldiers, but if you talk with the SS. I had 3 people like this. Each of them were probably the same, like he was in 20s. So they were still Nazi in their mind. They were still the ideology and everything.
Yeah.
It prevailed totally within a years. Although they learned to say, okay, we can't do we have to condemn. We were young. We were only this or this, but they didn't think that. I think they thought that the Nazi and their times. But I don't blame them. On the other hand,
of course not. They could be brought to trial.
No, at 20, when you're in the 20s, you're thinking totally different. But when in your 80s, your happiest and the best time, it's always when you were young. That was with my parents. I had a very old parents. My dad was 56 when I was born, and my mother 47. So my dad. He went through the Second World War since the first day because he finished the military academy just on September and just in August, and September the war starts. My mother, she was a teenager. She was born 1928. So she was 11 when the war started.
That's some reach back into the past.
But when she was 14, no 13, she got arrested and she did the labor force. She was sewing. She was like in the prison for the children in the factory. She was sewing the army uniforms, and they were getting on their cup of the water, and I don't know 90 grams of bread, black bread. She says a lot of children died of the starvation over there. Some of them were taken as, especially the siblings, and the other ones they were taken to the concentration camps when they were making the experiments, because they really liked to experiment with the siblings. I don't know what's the word, but the Mengele, Dr. Mengele, he was crazy about that. And she lived not very far from the Oświęcim, Auschwitz herself. Her sister was with the resistance. She did not do any like a big fighting around. She just carried the papers, the newspapers or anything like. And then somebody got arrested, and he gave the name of her older sister, and they came. They were looking for her. She didn't. She knew the Germans are looking for her, so she was in the hideout. But they said to my grandmother that they're taking their mom, and she has 24 hours to produce herself at the police station. Otherwise, they hang the little one.
Fuck.
So she had no choice. She came, and she like I said, she surrendered herself. They never let my mom go. They put her into this factory, and the aunt went to the concentration camp. She lived, but she got experimented as well. She never could have the children.
No
or
one
anything.
survives that kind of shit.
Yeah, but and my father, he was. The house and his family lived in a part of Ukraine. It was the part of Poland before the war. So he never got at the beginning fight with the Germans, but the Russians invaded. The 2 weeks after the Germans invaded us from the west, Russian invaded us from the east. So and he got taken as a POV, prisoner of war, and. They actually kept them on some station a few good days. Then they were putting them in the cattle wagons, and somehow the women's were bringing the civilian clothes, with the food, because Russian didn't give them the food or anything. They have them with 20,000 people on the train station, and sending them to the Siberia. So the civilians people were. And they didn't check always very well the women's with the food, so some woman brought the civilian clothes. Before they loaded them into the cattle wagons, he changed the clothes, he dropped them there, and he ran away. And he was lucky, because these 20,000 on this station, they went and they were murdered in 1940 by the Russian.
Fuck.
They killed over the 20 Polish officers, prisoners of war, but got shot in the head, and then they buried them in the place called Katyń, and the other places as well. But the Katyń it's, and then Germans in 1941 discovered that, and there was very big row. But they tried to use it on their own agenda.
War's the dirty business.
So he went, and he went as a partisan, and he was since 1931 to 1944, he basically lived in the woods and fighting almost every day, the Germans.
Fuck.
And then the Ukrainians, because the Ukrainian nationals, they were they joined with the Germans, and they were trying to get. Germans promised them that they're going to have their own independence and the free Ukraine, and just wanted to use them as well. There was SS Galician. The Ukrainian SS division as well, operating over there, but all together, all these stories and everything, I use in the book almost.
It's fucked up, but when you look, I watched a very good movie. What's his name was in it? The last James Bond was in it.
Defiance.
Going through the woods.
Yeah, Defiance.
Brilliant.
About Bielski's brother.
They started doing guerrilla warfare along the way of escaping.
Yeah.
They were because I was under the impression, did anyone fight back? Was everyone immediately defeated?
No,
And it turns out there's a lot of people fucking fighting back.
In Poland, you have the biggest resistance movement in Europe. So there were hundreds of. So my father, he joined the 27th Volanian division that was formed from the partisans, and it was more than 9,000 people. The big significant force.
Yeah.
And they went from Volania to the Polesie region in Poland, so almost 2,000 kilometers. And they were fighting. They actually liberated a lot of places and a lot of small towns and villages around in Poland, totally from the Germans. And then they operated all together with the Russian-Belarusian front. But then in 1944, you have this all in the book. The Russian disarmed them, surrounded them, and there was only at this stage 3,000 of them because lots of 6,000 died on the road. It was shattered, and he got arrested again by the Russians. But then I don't know. They even didn't choose the people they were taking. You go to the Polish formed by Russians Polish army. You go to up against the wall and we shoot you. He got lucky again, so he just they put him in the new uniform and took him. And then he actually ended up in taking the Berlin with the Russians, but. He went through the hell. His mother was burned alive by the Ukrainians at her home.
Ukrainians?
Yeah, Ukrainian nationalists. His grandmother and his little sister, they were just burned alive at their home. Then in 1947, after the war, he got arrested in Poland by the communists as well, because they says it. That he was an adjutant to the some kind of general. They says, oh, okay, this guy that doesn't go our way, so we have to arrest him. So they arrested my dad as well. He got sentenced to death, but he got lucky because there was a lot of people sentenced to death, and they were waiting, sometimes years to be executed. But in 1953, Stalin died. And they released them all because the Stalin's rule ended. So they says he was crazy to imprisoning all these people. So they released him. His whole life he was a professional soldier. So he came back to the army, and then this guy who got arrested, this general, found him back and says, well, okay, you can go and do it. And then he became at the 70s, or 80s, he became the general himself. But and then we were going from up and down to the different countries, and the last
crazy life
was Korea. He has the life like life for the good book.
It's like Forrest Gump's story. He's been in every major incident in the history of his life.
Yeah, so that's the.
But how did he he must have been damaged mentally.
No, but that's the funny thing.
Burning of fucking sibling and shit.
He was the kindest person I ever know, and the smartest person I ever know as well, because he was a PhD. He was a chemist. Actually, he was in the one stage. He was the commander of the chemical division of the whole army.
Really?
Yeah. So he did the different things. There's his publications I can find even in the National Library. There is about strategy and strategical like nuclear strikes, and it was great. He was dealing with the crazy stuff, really crazy stuff. When I read this, but at home he was strict because he was a he was a military and things like this. But at home he was totally different person.
Was there any laughing in your life?
No, he was very funny guy. He had a lot of but he was coming back to these war times all the time. Same my mom and all the family. I actually was raised by the people who go through it, and it was so traumatic that they actually embedded and conveyed all this to me. And I used to joke that I'm a victim of war. I never lived through.
100%. Because you probably notice it yourself on occasion, but you might be saying or behave in a particular way, and then you see that one of the kids have been observing you, but you don't know how long, and you don't know what they're seeing or what they're thinking they're seeing, and they think, is daddy crazy or is daddy this or that?
My mom, she had this like a fright. She has to have all the time full fridge because she was traumatized. Whenever she sees the empty, even one shell, she was shaking. She had to have we always had to fridge full of food, and sometimes the food goes waste because it was too much. We could not eat that, but she could not bear the empty fridge because she was starting panicking. She was crying and she was thinking she's going to starve again.
Fuck.
But
that's a sentence for life.
Yeah, but look, if you were in the conditions like this since you were, for example, 13, and you spent 3 or 4 years in the place like this, it has to mess with your mind. When most of the children around you died because of starvation,
different reality altogether.
And
time is way slower, so those few years could have seemed like a whole lifetime.
Well, yeah, no. So I know for me as well, because I was, for example, in North Korea. I was there for 4 years or something like that.
North Korea?
Yeah. No, with my dad, he was there as a military attaché.
Fuck.
So for that reason, but for me it's almost like a lifetime because I was very young.
Sure, there's no mystery so to why this is the book you'll write.
Oh yeah, this one, that's...
like you said earlier, you want to know why he wrote a book, the author, and look at his life. Yeah. Hello! This will be your first big book.
Yeah. Now I have a theatrical place before, but I have a note, explanatory notes. It says everything on the explanatory notes at the end of the book. So.
It's a substantial amount of fucking writing. But I'm not surprised. It's nearly like some weird kind of diary, I'd imagine.
No, it is.
Entwined.
It's still fictionalized, because it's a historical fiction. But I think it's very accurate because I did my research very thoroughly. Now I would probably write the book like this within a year or two.
Yeah.
But the before, even maybe within 9 months, because you don't need to research like that. To research this book, I spent hundreds of hours in the libraries, going through the books, going through the ledgers, going through the historical facts. But here, if you go, and I mentioned, the pack of cigarettes or some kind of brand of candies that they were using.
Yeah.
I have a footnote saying, for example, these candies were produced in this town by this person and this were...
Jesus.
So, it has over 200...
a glossary of a sort?
No, but look...
Appendix?
Yeah, you have the explanatory notes, the footnotes.
Yeah.
No, show me the book. I'll show you, for example.
I'm just going to check if that door's open.
Oh. The book has a lot of things like... the songs, anything, because in this book I have a lot of songs, folklore things as well, just trying to be true.
Yeah.
Look for underneath the things you have the small notes, number 16, for example.
Written by Hans Baumann.
Yeah.
Considered to be the official song.
It's just about the song, and so whatever I mention here, the
reference,
the radios, the things, and everything. So I have a reference, and there's over 240 references there.
Jesus, that's a lot of research.
Yeah, it took a lot, but.
And do you think it helps the book?
I think it is because it gives
it some kind of authenticity.
Authenticity.
Yeah.
You don't need to read them, the reference, but if you want, for example, there is the soldiers were calling the planes butchers. The German soldiers. They were calling the Russian fighters butchers. I don't know. I don't remember the exact brand, but the aerial planes. because they were shattering everything. They were very heavy armed and the guns and everything. So I explained it why it's called the Butchers, from what types of plane, or I used the names of the guns, or the names of the places, or the streets, or the buildings, so I explained whatever I could in that book. For that reason, it took so long as well. But now you don't need to go to library and look in the who manufactures the chocolate or the things like this, or what type of trams were in Danzig before in Gdańsk before the war. Because you just Google it or you put it
that's another good one though. Just to turn it a little bit, the reliability of the information from Google. How reliable is it?
You have to always check.
You have to double check and everything.
Yeah, you have to double check because but then it's much easier, because actually even if they're not very much accurate, they give you the notion where to look. Because sometimes they citing mostly they citing the especially in Wikipedia, for example, the source. So you can go back. You don't need to go to the 10 books. You have the source pointed. So you go to the source, you open it. Sometimes you don't need to go to library because you can get the PDF or anything like that. So it's very quick. Now, for this research took me years for this book. Because it was written it was finished in 2021, so there was no artificial intelligence or anything that time. Now you can go and reference and cross-reference things very quickly, but you still need to have your research method, and you still have to check your stuff up against if it's a reliable source. But if it is, it's mostly. You don't need to even use the Wikipedia. You can go and use the ChatGPT, for example. But to check the ChatGPT, you have to go check the
ChatGPT is coming up a lot lately. It's a lying bastard, is what it is.
I know, but you can check it up against, for example, another one, Gemini. Gemini is very reliable. It's a Google artificial intelligence.
All right.
So you cross-reference ChatGPT. And
I think that's on my phone.
Yeah, and
I don't have it. I can't get rid of it.
Because it's there embedded, but it's not bad. It's actually good, but never try to use it for writing because it's just.
I can't let anything outside of my noggin influence any creative endeavor I'll endeavor to do, because it's just, it doesn't help. I mean, how many books do you think that you, in the course you're writing, require you to research?
This one, for example, not, because this one is just these are essay books. So there's my thoughts about the books, writers, and the general things in life. So I don't need to put the reference or research or anything. But can you open the last one? But this one I have to research very much. It's just an Arrow Knows No Master. It's 13 lectures framing the archery in Western philosophy.
Fuck.
That'll
be my second book.
This book is very interesting because it's actually happened to me by accident, as most of them. Owen Reynolds, he was setting up the club. And then, I don't know, we were talking, I said, okay, I can make the ethical framework for you. For the book. So I started to read the philosophers or anything. He did not use it at the end, but it's just, I'm very grateful for the idea he actually helped to develop.
Yeah.
So I sat down and I started thinking, okay, there is a lot of things about archery that frames archery within Eastern philosophy, like for example Hegel book, the Zen and the thing. But first of all, with all respect to the Hegel, he was a utter Nazi, and he was. And when you read his book, you could see the Nazi, that it was written by the Nazi, because everything is imposed. There is no room for you to contemplate. It's very imposed. It's very imposing, the book. And then the whole Eastern philosophy, I think it's almost like a prosthetic of the philosophy, because he seen it in his way, he conveys it in his way, and he says it, okay, this is my way, I'll put it this way. And it's quoting the sources, it's talking about them, but it's a Heracles way. It's actually not a real Eastern philosophy, especially Japanese ones. It's just
his opinion.
No, it's just the prosthetics of it. So he conveyed what he wanted to do, what he wanted to pass. The rest he didn't want to pass. He just held it for himself. But then there is a lot of Indian source. There's a lot of things about the archery and philosophy of archery and philosophy of movement made and molded to the Eastern way of the Eastern philosophies. And I then think why we have the very big framework and a very big tradition of Western philosophies, starting from the big founders of the church, like St. Thomas or the St. Augustine, and then going through the years, and then I start to imagine, okay, if I write down, if I think about the St. Augustine, for example, and I imagine him with the bow, and while he was thinking about his idea of the God, his idea of being human, his idea of going forward with life, but by the perspective that he has a bow in hand. So there is a very famous figure, two cities of the tale of two cities of the St. Augustine. So I imagine him as an archer who's writing this. Mm-hmm. So I conveyed all his philosophical framework, but through the scope of somebody's on the range. Same I did with the Kierkegaard, who had the dread. It's very easily translated for who was writing, and he has kind of obsession about the dread of being, about the fright of being. So it's very easy to translate into the very obvious thing with the archer, like you have a target panic and things like this. So I again translate. You see the Karl Marx. You know it's economy of your breed, economy of the. You can put it a lot. So there was nothing, and there is nothing, basically nothing. Now it is, but that frames the Western philosophy and the Western way of perceiving things that comes along with the archery and can help the archer. I'm not saying it's a remedy for everything, but at least it can. I hope it can set the mind. So, but this is actually two books within the one, because each chapter it's a kind of written in kind of lyrical way to be easier for the to comprehend, because the philosophy is very hard thing.
Yeah, it can be like a blanket.
I use the stories, like a vessels for it. But then I says, okay, it doesn't complete the whole thing. So I have explanatory notes at the end of the chapter, which is another chapter almost. And then it says, okay, and it says in very academical way, in very scholarly way, how I frame this and this and this, how I put this and this and this, what sources I use, what books I read, what for you it's good to read.
You love your details.
Yeah.
You're like fucking Lord of the Rings, lad.
Look, I show you something.
Before you do, I'm just going to run in and get a coffee. Do you want a coffee?
I'll go with you, just...
Don't mind me smoking in here.
No, smoke. I like to sniff sometimes. It's just
there's water there for you, and there's a glass in case you don't
I'm
want
okay.
to care.
I'll have a coffee. That's fine.
I just keep sometimes I get so caught up in the podcast I forget to offer them. Do you want another coffee?
It, like I said, it has a note. This is a chapter, almost like a chapter. Notes for every chapter. I call that lectures because they're actually. I used to do the lectures at the university, but
See, you're a brainy fucker. I'm just a fucking.
So you have, for example, I don't know, lecture number 1, lecture number 2, and then you have the explanatory notes for the whole lecture. If you, for example, want to go further, if you look for the sources and if you look for the books, you have cited the books there. You have cited you have even cited the pages which I use to write each chapter, from the books. Even if you go for the bibliography at that, it's just the big bibliography itself here. It's I don't know. It's 100 book or something. Look, that's the bibliography note, and that's and it's still to write these.
That for me, you know what that reminds me? It's like you're trying to explain a joke. Do you ever, you know what I mean? You tell a joke, most people get it. There's a few didn't quite get it.
But you know what? If you write if you write the scholarly book, this is
well, of course you would.
This is a scholarly book. I did not use the footnotes here because the footnotes sometimes are kind of distracting.
Yeah.
If you read the chapter, sometimes if you read here, so you have to take off your mind, and this one it's very demanding. You have to all the time think about what you're reading. So if you're taking your mind and you read the footnote here, you're taking your mind off the main topic.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I structured this book this way, that I have the chapter without anything. Then I have explanatory notes at the end of each chapter, and it's so this you could read it in the two ways. You could read it only the chapters, or you could read it only explanatory notes. Both of them lead you somewhere.
Do you ever read a book and get so pissed off when you're finished that you finished, and then you might go and look at all these notes if they're in the said book as like an extension of the joy you felt reading the
you know what?
book?
I had the book. I don't know if I finished. It's more maybe disappointed, but I don't like the. I really like the style and everything of George R.R. Martin. The
Game of Thrones lad.
Yeah, but I stopped reading him because these things, these instant deaths, and it's just it's depriving you and robbing you of the characters or of the plot. You start to follow, because unconsciously when you read the book, you always favorize some parts of the book. You always favorize some characters. Like in life, you have people you like, have people you don't like, you have people you despise, you have people you admire. Same with the books, you read them and there's no difference at all. But then what he's doing, it's just on purposely robbing you of your
relationships.
Of your relationships. Like you have your friend. Imagine you have a friend, you like him, you spend with him time, and then suddenly somebody's taking him off, and it's just gone.
Yeah.
And he's, for example, killed in some stupidest, idiotic way you could imagine.
Yeah.
So it's not maybe pissing you off. It's just so disappointing that I usually have a very.
You're conscious of this when you're writing your own, and you said, "I'm not going to do that.
No,
I'm going to nurture this
honestly,
fucking thing."
If you read this book, I probably did this.
Well, this looks fucking heavy and like heavy.
It's not. It
emotionally, there'll be a lot of weight in it. Yeah, of course, it's war. I mean, I'm going to start with those two, and then this will probably be the last one.
Yeah.
But I will do. The first one will be this guy here, and that'll be the second.
No, this one is easy and nice, and you would find here, I think, 2 articles very interesting. The one is about the guy we know, about his Matt Latimer, about his writing, and his style and everything. You see, Matt, he says it. He admitted himself. Okay, I'm an autistic person, and I see the world differently, but. The thing what he did with the Phoenix Archer, I envy that and I admire that a lot, because he not only built the story, he not only conveyed the story in a very nice way, and you're reading and it's very easy to read, very pleasant to read. his vocabulary, his language, it's very affirmative. First of all, has no negations, doesn't show the negations. So you read it and it's embedded in you instantly. It does not, even if he writes about the hard things, it does not spike and convey any bad emotions. That's a very rare gift for the writer to do that, to address the hard things, to address the things that we should be conscious of it, and in the scope of ethical thinking about the world and the people and their conditions. He can do that only in a very affirmative and good way. He doesn't pass the bad emotions to the reader, which is very rare thing for the writers. The other thing is the word, the anordite, the whole realm he invented. It feels so complete. It's not only the landscapes or anything. This is a breathing, living organism. You read that, and you immediately feel yourself that you among these people, that you in these towns, that you can feel the smell, you can feel the breeze, everything. I don't know. He enchanted me with this book. I sat down and I read it and I read it and I read it. And then as I said, if I write the things about my favorite authors, so I have to put the Matt here as well. Because and it was his first book ever. I don't know, before he was writing only into his drawer. Sometimes you need someone to pull you up.
Oh yeah.
I know a lot of very talented people. They could write, or they could do the journalistic work or anything like that. But they always think themselves, "Oh, I'm not worthy. I won't even try it because people would Don't think what people would think. If you want to pass your word, if you want to pass your story, sit down and do it. This is the only one opportunity in your life. If you feel urge, if you feel like that, don't write into your drawer. Otherwise, it's like a wasted chance, you know. And the Matt took this chance.
You're nearly obligated.
Yeah, but you see, it takes some courage. It takes.
I don't know.
This is a big leap of courage, you know, to go and to print your book and to sell them. And you know what is the worst thing? What can happen to you?
Regret?
No regret. But then the worst thing can happen to you is it's the first and the last book you ever wrote. That's the worst thing that can happen to you. But I think mostly if you pass this magical threshold, if you do one, you would more certainly do second one. He published the second one, and this was even harder than the first one, because the second one is just short stories, and the short stories format are very hard, you know, because if you write the short story, for example, 1,000 word or 900 word or 1,600 word, which it's like depends what we think is a short story, but it's a still short story. It's not even novel. It's a 2-3 pages story. To confine yourself within these boundaries and tell the story and tell the interesting story and pass it, it's very, very hard. But he did it. He has 13 or 16 stories in the new book, and all of them, since the first one till the last one, they're marvelous. And it's, if you go on Amazon, just type in Matt Latimer, and there are 2 books of Matt's.
Cool.
And please help him, but don't do the one thing. If you don't like the book, don't leave the comment, because if you want to help the author, what Amazon works this way: your book it's subject to the algorithm. It depends how many people go and look at the books, even, and then it moves further. How many people buy the books? You don't need to even leave the stars or anything, but if you go and buy, it will help him. The books are not very, and Matt doesn't take any penny of it, of the books. He doesn't earn any money. He pledged all the proceedings to the Tifam, so it goes to the Tifam. Whenever we sell the book he sells the book, for example, for €9 or €10. They're about this range. The Phoenix Archery is 15, and the other one is 9. So €15 goes. Amazon takes more than half. It was for 55%.
Really?
Yeah, but you don't need to bother about printing or anything. Somebody's buying the printing on demand, and sending. And so then maybe every €5 goes to the Tifam account. So it helps. And it was very generous of Matt, and he did the same with the other one. This book, this one is over there as well, so I don't have any proceedings from this one. And it took me almost 2-3 years to complete it. But you can go and buy it on the... you type in the Martin Smallridge and it will be there. This one. And another one is just a small one. It's The
Creed of the
Loose Arrow in Flight. And this is a small... this is the also Western philosophy, but it's in the... instant, So it's very small, and it says, it's almost says by Archer, who is on the ranch as well.
Right.
So, and it's also framed, but it mentioned the philosophies of the Eastern philosophies. This one not. This one only shows you the
Western, is it?
So you can go, you can read about the Prince. No, not the Prince. Oh Jesus. About the Machiavelli here, you can read about the Hegel, you can read about the Kierkegaard, you can read about St. Thomas, you can read about the Plato or Marcus Aurelius and the things like this. This is a whole history of the modern Western philosophy within the 13 chapters, and it's framed like I imagine them all as archers on the range.
Yeah.
Go. Take the book if you like. Leave the comment, but please don't leave the bad comments. It's not only because that
I seldom make any comments about anything.
But you know what, Matt, his book is very good. The worst, but I don't know why people are doing this. He got the very good comments over there, and he has 5 stars all the time, and then it takes only one, a sore person. Who's coming did not even bother to leave the comment, just to put just fuck up his score and put him the lowest score ever.
Yeah, but look,
I think
people out there that's their job nearly,
And same happened to Jose with his shop.
Oh really?
Okay, Jose opened the shop, but Jose almost working and doing the charity job. He does not make any money on it, barely. He's giving the money. He helped Tifam few good times, just without any interest. The only thing we could do, it was just write about him and what he does.
Yeah.
He does the things with the defibrillators. He probably put a lot of his own money into it as well. He doesn't mention it, but I'm quite sure he did that. And yet, still people go into his shop and leaving a very bad reviews on it. I don't see any reason.
I can see a reason, and I can understand it because I've met plenty of people like this. They're just spiteful fuckers. But also, there's a strategy for marketing, like opposition. He's opposition. And that's one way of, the way of the world today is, like you said, the comments, the negatives.
Yeah, but
that's one way of them just fucking getting it started.
But the Matt Latimer is no one opposition. He's just a talented guy who's writing the books. He
stepped out into the spotlight, man. Yeah. He said, I will do this. And there's people who probably want to do it, but can't because they're holding themselves back for whatever reason. And their only way to lash out now is say, fuck you, man. You're crap.
No, he's not crap. He's a really, really good writer.
Anyone who puts pen to page or brush to canvas and fucking says, here I am, they're going to get it. Because there's a lot more people out there for whatever reason who want to do it, but they're stopping themselves from doing it. And when they see someone else doing it, then they fucking hate them because it reminds them of how weak they are.
Yeah, maybe.
And they just lash out.
No, it's you see, the math example and this bad review. It's not even the review because this person didn't even bother to say why he thinks it's.
You
it's
gotta
crap.
divorce yourself from it, though. It
Yeah.
shouldn't be even. It's just
Yeah, but
a non-issue.
especially at the beginning when you're starting, and so it's like a blow in the face, like a
Fuck
punch in
that.
the face.
Only
for
if you
him.
let it.
Only
if you let it.
But I think he'll prevail and.
Matt, tell him to fuck off. They're all
Yeah, and
cunts, buddy.
so if you want to show your support to Matt, so go, like I said, type in Matt Latimer and you'll have the 2 books, and both of them are brilliant. And just to be, I forwarded both of them. but it's I did it with the genuine awe. It's just, but the only way for you to know it, it's to read it.
100%, yeah.
So.
Because I think it's like I said, I've no, I know what's what. I'm all in love at the moment with the whole notion of the excitement I get when I'm trying to do what I'm doing with the writing. But I'm under no illusion. I could read this, because I could do a painting today and I could be telling everyone this painting is so awesome. And a month from now, I could be embarrassed for myself when I look at the painting, because what the fuck were you thinking? So I could write this thing and I could be so excited with just the whole action of it and the promises of it in my own head, just to get something tangible in front of me that I can say, yeah, I did that, look at it, wow. And then someone will read and say, Jesus, what the fuck? You're tapped. You shouldn't be showing people this at all. Have you no shame? This thing happens. But I'm the biggest critic of anything I do. And that's fine by me, because I'm vicious.
Yeah, no, but you have to be like that. I have actually the same, because whenever I write something...
You want the best...
Yeah.
You want to create the best of whatever it is you're doing.
Something, then I leave it for the day. That's my way. And then I come back and I read it, okay. I have one tendency, very bad tendency as a writer. Maybe I shouldn't tell this, but I overuse the words. For example, but it's almost like some picked up disease or something. It's I call it a holalia. It's just I hear one word and I really like it. Yeah. And then, for example, I wrote the like a literary study about the Gothic in literature and about the Gothic in Irish folklore and the things it calls Bell, Metal and the Boglight. And I finished all the book and then I started reading it and I discovered that I have the instances of one word repeatedly repeated in the chapters. And it's rather. I don't know why. Before I had the other one, I used stillness. Now I use whatever goes into my mind.
Yeah.
So I had to stop the book from being published, and now I have to go back through it
and weed it out.
Yeah, and I have the book has 300 pages or something.
That's a lot of looking.
No, it's a study, but on the 300 pages I have 246 instances of the word rather. It's some chapters has only 2, but some chapters has 8 or 9. It's just, but I find it the other way, because if you're reading it, I use the natural reader, like an application. So you just upload your text into it and you can listen to it. Yes. Whichever voice you picked up, I picked up the old guy because it sounds cool.
I didn't know you could change the voice.
Yeah. So I have that. Whichever I write the chapter by chapter, now I just listen to it. And then I can hear it. Okay, this I overuse this word or this. But I have this tendency and I have it since I just like some word and then it just embeds in my mind.
Yeah.
The other thing is maybe differently, because most of these books, you told me, you wrote a lot of books. It's not a lot, like I said to you, it's not a lot because I write 30 years. So for the 30 years, 20 books, it's not much. It's a book a year or even less.
But that's consistent.
But it's consistent. But like I said, I had the episode between 2000 2007 and 2010 that I stopped writing, and I was probably thinking at that stage that I would never come back to it. But then something clicked, and
but you do need a break. There's a guy I listened to in Limerick. He's Blind Boy. Do you ever listen to him? He's got a podcast. He's a very interesting character. He does a lot of books. His podcast now would be, he does a lot of research. It's his full-time job. So if he might get us, I think he'd be right up your street, because you'd academically similar minds that way. And he's got a book out recently, something Hibernia. And he does a lot of books of short stories and stuff.
This one, I'll Google it later on. You tell me, because like I said.
But his language, the way he approaches it is very. I found it. It's funny, and it's kind of current, But there's I don't know. There's like, it's interesting. I'd recommend you. I think you'd be interested in him. I think he's been diagnosed as autistic. He goes on about that quite a bit, his perspective, and then it changes when he looks back on his life in school and stuff, and he says, that explains everything, blah, blah, blah. For me, he goes on a bit too much about it, but look, I'm me, he's he, and you're you. We've all got our own little environments we were brought up and shaped in. But he's still very interesting, and at times I find I'm laughing aloud, listen to him, and a lot of times I'm roaring at him. How can you be so smart and so stupid? You know what I mean?
But that's a human condition.
Yeah. But it's good.
It's like St. Augustine tale of the two towns. It's actually we have this bipolar, this duality embedded within ourselves. We can be courageous, and the opposite way, we can be like a coward. Like a coward. We can be very smart in the 1 second, and very stupid in the other. It's just you. But that's the beauty of the human condition, that you can't find the same. If our life would be constant, there would be nothing to write about it.
No.
It's just
that's why I can never understand people. You'd see it in books, you'd see it in movies, you see it in wherever there's a representation of people in situations. You'll always see it at some stage where some character will say to another, I didn't know you were like this. As if the person will say they meet him when they're always in a good mood. Yeah. They assume they're just a happy person. But what they don't understand is maybe they haven't been speaking to anybody because they were working on their thing. So when you come around, they're all like a person, and they're just full of positive energy because there's someone there to talk with.
Yeah.
But when they're gone then, and they make a mistake in their job, they become vicious with themselves. They speak very, very badly to themselves because, how could you make such a mistake? And they berate themselves. But then when the person comes along and they catch them in that particular moment, they just have this fucking deluded notion that the version of you that they see the most and like is you 24/7 all your life. That's crazy. We embody so many reactions, some that surprise even us. So how can you say, it's just, I can't understand people who assume that you are one face all the time, forever and a day. It's crazy. You're a human being. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you see, even like with myself now, I used to write under my name, Marcin Malek, and in Poland it wasn't bad because it sounds very like Polish, and that's fine. It was okay. I made the name a little bit, publishing in the magazines and newspapers. Then I came here in 2006. I tried to send the text, although they were good, but nobody was interested. Sometimes they even did not probably open the emails or anything for me, because the foreign name, especially like a Polish or Eastern European name, they sound not very promising, So people were looking at it and they were thinking, some guy from what he wants, just put him aside. But then I was sitting at home and thinking, Jesus, what to do? How to break this glass dome over me? And I said, it's probably my name. Because I went to one friend, to another friend, and I says, can you read that? Okay. Does it, if you wouldn't have a name, would you say it was written by a foreign person? No, not at all. And I was asking the Irish people. So I said, okay, that's probably the name. And then I says, okay, I'll come up with the Martin Smallridge. It's almost like a derivation of my real name. It's Malek, it means Smallridge. So Martin, so I did that, and I sent the text, and I got the answers instantly from few places, from Leinster Express, for example.
Yeah.
No problem at all. But then I sent the first one as Smallridge, and then I sent it as Marcin Malek, and it says, no answer. And then I just sent him the email, says, it's me, it's Marcin, but it's my real name. Oh, that's okay, fine. So then I could publish under my real name. But then I says, with the books, especially written in English, I probably stick to the Martin Smallridge. So I have a dual, I'm a two persons now.
Martin Smallridge. I don't know.
But it helps. It helps because...
well, if you see the difference straight away, of course, yeah. But it's like you were saying earlier on about looking towards your friends and taking the best of them, and that's your character in your book. Do you ever find that you'd be sitting in a room and you just get notion to start writing a thing, and it's brand new, and you're looking around at all the products in the room,
that's
looking for something that you can maybe do it backwards and put a twist on it?
Yeah.
Before it occurs to you, what does this person represent? So you Google the word in a dictionary or a thesaurus, and then you get a variation of the word.
I have a lot of dictionaries around me. I converted the attic at our house, and I have my desk there, books and everything. So I sit down there and I write there. I have even bed there beside if I stay long.
Yeah.
And I write till the night, so I don't want to wake up kids or wife or anything. So I stay there and I sleep 2-3 hours. I wake up and I write again.
That for me is an absolute luxury, to afford yourself this luxury, because that's, to me, I have so many things that I'd like to do that with, but it's like it's broken up by all these other things that you definitely have to do these things, and they're a big chunk of your time. So it's like, and by the time you get to maybe want to go painting or do X, Y, and Z, you're just bait. You're wrecked. You're just spent. So it's like, then you have the argument with yourself. You're lazy. You're a cunt. You're this. You're that. You're a liar, and all of that. It fuels you to do nothing. I thought it would be the fuel to I'm gonna go do it, but now it's like I've created this thing where I just hit this switch in my mind. And there's silence.
This is the thing, I think everyone who's doing something, doing some kind of art, or the writing, or sculpturing, or painting, or express himself in a creative way. I think we all have it, and this way or the other way, and this like a kind of very profound feel of guilt, but it comes from nothing. It's sometimes from the very silly things.
Yeah, it is silly. Usually it's like, that's probably why I can just say, shut the fuck up. Just shut up, you idiot. You know what I mean? You gotta you have a life to live, as well. It's like sometimes you have to live a book before you can write a book, or a song more precisely, because that'd be a more natural thing to do, to live a song before you write the song, or a poem even for that matter, because then you can relate the emotion to it. Whereas prior to that, you're probably just, I don't know what that's like. I don't know how I would react in that particular moment. Whereas if you've lived it and you're recalling it, you can recall all the emotion and your head shit, and you can get multi-perspective then from yourself.
Oh yeah.
So it's crazy.
No, whatever we do, whatever we create, it's not only, I think I know we're shaping in some way we're trying to influence and shape the reality around us. But at the same time, this what we created, this what we did, this what we're doing, is influencing us and shaping us. So it's almost like two hands molding the same patch of the clay.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Oh, it's definitely what you call a collaboration.
Oh yeah.
There's definitely a collaboration, but it's
symbiosis. Maybe it's a good word for it.
It's so just when you just get that moment where it just pops into your head. The question pops into your head, like, what's this? Where's this coming from? Is this mine? Can I put a claim to this? Or especially today with all the fucking information you're getting secondhand information that you're even maybe not conscious of. It's seeping in from whatever the kids are watching, whatever she's watching or listening to, and yourself then, and you're like, whoa, what the fuck? Is this for me or no? But then you see your personality maybe in there. Yeah, that's mine. I use that.
No, I think you have to have some kind of filter within you as well, like you said. Otherwise it'll in comparison within 10 to 20 years ago, this time for me it's just almost unbearable. It's too much of everything, and everything is just momentarily. So even before you could get the pair of jeans or pair of shoes, or you can get the pen or anything, that you got it and it was serving you years. Even this, scissors or anything.
Yeah.
These things I have in my a box where I have the needle sewing and the things like that was used by my grandmother, and she was born in 19th century in 1880 something. I have her scissors, I have the things like this. Now if you buy the scissors, probably they would last a year or two and they ended up being broken.
100%.
But then I have a fountain pen of my uncle. He used it in the 30s and it's still intact. I can use it. I write it with it, and these things were built to last, and so they weren't only for a minute here, for the second, and still people could have gains on it. I don't understand. It's the way of consuming things is a very nice, good word. Sometimes maybe a little bit overused, but the way that these things are consumed now, it's just terrifying. It's very terrifying.
But let's not get terrified just yet, because this thing, marketing they call it, is a cunt. Okay, it's a cunt. It markets everything and it's lying to you first and foremost.
Oh yeah, that's true.
The quality is not there. You're getting shit you don't need. I've heard my mother and other loads of people, in fact, they'll come back from somewhere and they'll say, oh, look what I got. And I'm like, what the fuck did you get that for? I just couldn't leave it there. It was so cheap.
Yeah.
But you don't need it.
Yeah.
But it was so cheap I couldn't leave it there. What kind of mental illness is that?
No, but same with what my mom, when she was living, I remember that I came to home one day and she had the full box of the kettles and the things like this. But I said, why did you got that? It was very cheap and it says it's a very good quality. They says it.
You can trust them.
You can trust them. They have a lifetime warranty, and they're good because they're getting things cheaper to the old people, and so that's your marketing.
100%. It's all bullshit. I mean, look at it this way. I used to love looking at Jeeps. I had 2 Jeeps in my time, and I bought them under the illusion, under the magical marketing. Jeeps are cool, blah blah blah. They can go anywhere, any terrain. I'm like, yeah, that's what I want. And I got the Jeep, and it was the most unpractical fucking thing for me. I couldn't be using it for work, especially when I started getting all my own stuff, like a mixer, a fucking saw, and all the. I needed a van, and I hated vans because I love Jeeps. Marketing. But the van, when I got my first van, within a week, I was like, I love the van. The van is the best invention ever. I love the van. It's so practical. I can use it private life, working life.
Oh yeah.
It's like, it covers everything. It's so practical. The Jeep, not so much. And if you get a fucked up tire on your Jeep, that's a week's wage just to get a new tire.
Yeah,
you know what I
that's
mean?
very expensive.
So it's like, it's all down to someone has been paid a lot of money to get a bunch of psychologists in a room and put them to task. And we then, the unsuspecting populace, are being bombarded with these lovely stories that are all fucking lies.
But you see, it's just... maybe it was before as well, but I think on the lesser scale... I think maybe on the lesser scale, but...
Peacetime creates a lot of crazy shit.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because people lose sense of the reality of what they need and what they... You can't go outside yourself and find worth of yourself. But that seems to be the song they're singing to a lot lately. You gotta, your sense of self is in you. You don't look for validation by owning shit.
James Toynbee, he wrote a book about the psychology of war and the philosophy of war and the things like that. And he's an English philosopher, scholar, the professor. No, he died, but he was. So, and there is one claim that first struck me, that people need war and violence to thrive, to develop. Otherwise, if it weren't for the wars and violence and outbursts of violence, or these big traumas like a First World War, the Great War, or the Second World War, or the big wars before, we would probably be, or all the wars, I don't know now. By now, I counted one time, but it was few good years ago. There was 13 or 14,000 wars, registered as from the beginning of when we start writing history. Now probably it will be up to 20,000 or something.
America alone has probably got that.
And if you go for these things, that they actually propelled human
I don't think so.
Civilization.
Marcin.
I think yes, because most of the invention they
You're
come
smart,
from.
Man. You know better than that.
I know, but
come on, you're dealing with a manipulated population by a minority group always, who've got some stupid notion of fucking ruling the world or imposing their reality on the majority. It's usually the dumbest fucking reason, and then it's covered up by the victor with a grand story and a grand scheme.
No, that's true, but I'm not saying about the ideology or why this war happened or what happened through this war.
But we would advance, I'm sure of it, probably faster with no wars.
Maybe.
Communication, if you had the time where you can learn languages more because there's no fear of fucking da-da-da-da-da, there's, then you've, everyone can understand each other. Then you've better progress. Then you can find your equivalents mentally and intellectually and spiritually, whatever, all across the globe. And then you've a better network, and then you can always charge your energies.
But we're coming back to the same question now. These two things. Well, what we were talking before. It's just first of all, whatever we do, and whatever the good idea, we would always have our own Martin Luther standing behind and tell you this is bullshit. Of course. And the other thing is, we always would have inner Mr. Hyde,
Yeah.
That's the thing. But
night needs day, day needs night.
But I think the Martin Luther and the Erasmus of Rotterdam, it's just the best example I could ever come with it, because it translates to the whole thing. Look, the whole thing with Reformation, and that it spikes so great violence. It just spread around the whole Europe, and it provokes unrest for the tens of years. It actually put everything upside down. Legs up,
who benefits?
Head down. No one.
Really?
No one benefits.
Someone benefits. Someone always benefits from this chaos.
Not Martin Luther.
I'm not saying no, but
not Erasmus of Rotterdam.
They're just describing what they see.
Yeah, even if the people benefits, I think they were just. It wasn't any agenda of doing this. It's just it took one pissed off guy who did not agree with the other one, and that's the thesis of Martin Luther. It's basically it's very flattened and very but he just didn't like what Erasmus of Rotterdam was thinking and writing. So he says, I have to answer to it. I have. It just can't be like that. So he wrote his thesis, and his thesis spike everything later. And you have a lot of crazy people that they probably misunderstood him.
Oh, no doubt.
His writing, and so they went and start to do the whatever. It's the same like with the Karl Marx and the communism. Everyone accused the Karl Marx of inventing the communism. It's bullshit. It's just some idiots took his writing and read it and totally misunderstood and think, this guy's right. We have to get rid of this part of the society. We have to all hang them, kill them, and eradicate them. And then it'll be like the almost new paradise.
Yeah.
But he never said that. It's just that's the thing.
That's the problem. If you had the time, the peace, no wars, where everyone can get on the same fucking page, and when they read a page, they all get the same, the substance of what's been said, and it's obviously that's what's been said, and they say, well, that's crock of shit, and move on.
But if you look at this duality again. Like I said, St. Augustine on his two cities. Then you have even the Nietzsche, and then you have a Søren Kierkegaard and the guy and Hegel. So Søren Kierkegaard was Hegelist. He loved the philosophy of Hegel. He was in love with him almost. He thought and he think that Hegel is almost like a godlike being, and nobody's smarter than him. But then he immersed himself very, very deeply into his philosophy framework, and he started to read him, and he started to become Hegel, Martin Luther. He says, "Shit, no, that's not Hegel. Why he wrote this? What?" So it's again Martin Luther and Erasmus, Kierkegaard and Hegel. So Kierkegaard, from being Hegelist and in love with Hegel, he become his most adversary, and he hated him at the end, and he turned everything upside down.
Well, you gotta go there to come back.
Yeah, but you see the things are whatever good you come up. Something would come up with something, but the people, maybe for us now, I don't know, 100, 200 years back, we can read Hegel, we can read Kierkegaard, and we can say, okay, both of them were partially right. Hegel, with his dialectics of being, but it's again dialectics, that again two different types. And the Kierkegaard about his dread of being, about his dread of reality. So you look at them both, and you can see one wrote this part, and Kierkegaard actually being opposite to the Hegel, but he, in some way, he's adding to the Hegel, and so they mingling all together. But this is only our thing because we have a historical perspective. We can read one and another.
Well, there.
But we don't. if you, for example, come up with the very enlightened idea, and the other people will read it and they say, "Oh, this is brilliant," but then you can find very easily your Kierkegaard or your Martin Luther, and then the people would go his way, and his way, he's going to find his another Martin Luther. It's almost like self-propelling mechanism, and it never ends. So for that reason, we would never get rid ourselves of the war or the conflict of anything, because you always would have somebody like Martin Luther or the Kierkegaard.
But that's only if everyone is striving to be right.
Or the Hegel, or the hater who put the thing on the match things.
But for all you know, that was some child fumbling on a phone.
Yeah,
Mammy just bought the book, left the phone open to answer the door, and the kid picks up the phone and fumbles the book. It doesn't immediately have to be what you think.
Yeah,
you know, you have to
true.
be.
But that's my doubting.
That's your defense. Your in defense of my friend. How dare you?
No,
it's a child. They hit the button. It goes to a negative.
So maybe in some instances we're all the time like this child. It's a very good parallel. It's a very good reference that can be explored, and I guess it's probably being explored 1,000 times since now.
You have a war can kick off. It's like a fight can kick off before the people involved are even engaged psychologically or intellectually as to why the fucking thing is kicking off. It could be just something that happens.
Yeah.
And if you interview them afterwards, they're like, I don't know what the fuck came over me. I just
things go sideways usually.
We're all pawns. We're
all
pawns. You just try to get as much fucking laughs out of shit as you can, and accomplish your goals for you for whatever reason.
Yeah, but try to do it consciously, all the time, consciously. And
well, I like to be on the border. I like to kind of have a foot in both sides.
I prefer conscious.
It feels more natural to me, and it's like it's more fluid. Because there's too many stupid fucking cobwebs in one, and on the other one there's a sense of an absolute freedom that allows you to fall, and then when you hit the ground you go through it, and when you go through the ground you keep going, but then you bounce right back up, and you're all the wiser for it. Whereas over here there's complications, there's silliness, a lot of silliness. It's like you're in a city square talking to the occupants of the city. You can hear you talk, and when they come up to talk to you, you just see their mouth move. You can't hear a voice, and it's like, what the fuck is going on there? I can't hear a word you're saying, because they're not on the same frequency.
Oh yeah.
Now that's not to say that you're on a higher frequency. You could be on a lower frequency, and they're on the higher frequency. So it's like, all you know is, I don't know what the fuck you're saying.
Yeah,
now you can panic in that moment, because no one knows who the fuck's it was. So it's like, shit. So how do you react to that? You got to compose yourself.
Yeah. So it's all about the duality of life. That's that.
But just don't forget to breathe in.
Oh yeah.
Breathe out.
Breathe in, breathe out, and do it consciously.
And try not to let, it's easier said than done, but there's this thing in us called, blood, and it fires us up sometimes, and we've no choice in the matter sometimes. And we can end up, one silly moment can give you the rest of your life in regret.
Yeah, like I said, dubito ergo sum. That means I doubt, so therefore I am. And I think it's a very good representation of today's conversation, because we were talking the St. Augustine and his two towns. He was very doubtful about some things as well. We were talking about the Martin Luther and the Erasmus of Rotterdam. We were talking about the Kierkegaard and the Hegel. And it always happens because somebody's doubted something.
Yeah.
So, but it's good to doubt. I think it's better than to agree, like blindly agree to.
100%, yeah.
With the writing again, I only try to to take myself off the doubting when I write, because when you write and you doubt in what you write, that's the first signal it's bullshit. So don't do it or totally
don't force it.
Yeah, don't force it. And but within the 30 years, I found myself following the pattern. So I was thinking, before I was sitting down writing first sentence and it was flowing, and it was going, then actually it almost felt like writing direct my thought, like we were speaking before. And but then I said, but then you could write and then you could hit the wall and you have a blockage, and then it's very hard to. So I come up, like I told you before, I do the blueprints. For example, for the not for the Milscape grinding, but the other one, the peculiar incidents of Zachary Branchard. So I wrote the blueprint, and the blueprint for the book was 70 pages. But
how do you stick to the blueprint? If say you make a blueprint, but then it kind of triggers the flow, and the flow is like, fuck your blueprint.
No, if it goes, then for that reason it had 70 pages, because I didn't cross over or ever didn't get rid, but I highlighted on the red what I abandoned, and the other one I have on the green. So I have a red and green, and I can go then compare two ways. You know, if I have a blueprint, it's again duality, because I have two blueprints in one usually, red and green. And I can read and I can choose. Sometimes I can mingle between them too. I can take something from the red and put it into the green, but it helps me. I never got lost with the book, especially when you have a book when you have, 60 characters altogether. They speak interchange with each other or something like that. Yeah. No, some characters have the 1 or 2 pages, but they're significant to the story because they trigger something or the. So if you have this in blueprint and you have 2 ways of what can happen, you can lead the stories this way or the other way. You can go left or right. So you constantly on the fork, on the crossroads, and you're choosing whatever is good. And the blueprints are actually very good. And then if I don't know what to do with the characters, if I have problems how to shape them, I name them with the names of my friend. Sometimes when I finish, I can think, okay, I'll change the name now, but I write about my friends, taking only good things again, because I never take if I invent the bad things, so they always comes from my head.
It's like.
But the blueprint, it's again everything. I think, at least with me, everything represents this strange duality of our existence. Even when I write, I have 2 versions usually, and I do. Even if I do the articles for Tifam, so I usually have 2 versions.
Really?
Yeah. If I have it, they kind of similar one, but if you look, I sometimes I think this hour like this and the other hour differently. So sometimes I usually have two different versions of the article, and same with the whichever. I don't only do it when I do the poetry, so I don't do that at all, because I just write and I leave it as it was. I never revise. I never do. With the poems, I sit down. Whatever flows in my head, I write it down. I don't read it. I publish it.
Are you going to do a thing like on your new website for your writing? Yeah. Are you going to have a little podcast there just to speak maybe short stories?
Oh, maybe I'll try.
That's a good thing.
It's a good idea.
Because the way you do with the YouTube, fuck it, do it for your own thing.
Well, maybe it's actually a good idea. Even the stories like we talk here about the duality or the.
Because that's
the Cervantes story or the things like this. I think it's interesting. It could be interesting.
You know what the guy was telling you about in Limerick. What's his fucking name? I forget his name. Blind Boy.
Yeah.
He wrote his book of short stories, his first book of short stories. I think he said 8 years ago. This is something he did a podcast to say why he's not doing a podcast, but it became a podcast. There's no video with him. It's just all audio. And he was explaining that the reason he started the podcast in the first place was he wrote the book, a book of short stories, and he wanted to promote the book, but he was an unknown entity. So he was like, I don't know how to do this. But then he figured, podcast. I'll create a podcast and talk about the book. And maybe read a few things out here and there. And that's how he started his podcast. You know what it is now? This is his full-time gig now. He gigs. What did he do? He'd go on tour like a band, but to do his live podcast.
Oh, yeah, cool.
And when he goes to a city or a town or whatever, there'll be someone living in the area who he'll end up talking with on stage, and the people go and visit. It's like they're going to a gig. Yeah. He's got an audience for his live podcast.
Oh, cool.
So take a leaf out of his book. Get yourself your podcast going to promote your writing. Okay. You should check him out. He's very fun.
Yeah, no, I'm going to check it. But I'm just very curious, especially like you mentioned the Hibernian thing. So it's basically that's the story of writing, and but I have plans for a few good books as well. Like even if you go on the website now and you're going to check, it's if you type in Martin Smallridge writer's blog, it should show you instantly. But then I have even like tab there, the book in progress. I have 3 there. The one it should interest you very well, because it's again because of my daughter. One time, we seen the picture of the portrait of the dwarf by Velázquez, the Spanish painter from the 16th century, and I remember that painting of him, particular painting, and I said, I seen that first time when I was maybe 3 or 4, and I called in love. He was my friend dwarf. Really, I called this because my sister, when she finished, but when she graduated something, I don't remember what was, got the album, big thick book with the Velázquez paintings. So I was like a little boy, I was looking at it, and I went in love. Particularly with his depicting the dwarf. He has a few portraits of the dwarf people, and it stick with me so long. And then whenever she get this conscious, like artistic conscious, my daughter, she's now 11, so she's coming and asking, what about this painting, what about this, and I always had the interest in Velázquez. I was going through his portrait, chasing his in Poland whenever he was shown, or they were coming from Spain for the few days, just to the national museums or everything. I was always that there is a few portraits, Velázquez portraits in Poland too. There is one here in Ireland, and it's one of his best portraits. It's called.
What's it doing in Ireland?
It was acquired at the 80s for the National Gallery. They bought it on auction somewhere.
Really?
And it calls the. What do you say? The maid's at work or something like that. I don't remember exactly. And you have a Moorish woman cleaning things and small things, working in the kitchen.
Right.
And it's your foreground. She's doing she's doing the work there, and you have I thought at the beginning it was a mirror, but it's not. I think it's window, or it's like a small portal to another room. You could see the people sitting and doing something. If you have a look exactly, you could see the Jesus and the disciples sitting at the refectory. So it's amazing. And then you start to analyze this portrait and the picture, and you could see she is gleaming almost. It's just like Velasquez had this trait that from the mundane thing he could pull something divine, and he was one of the first artists that who depicted the people almost like a picture, like photo, It's his portrait of the Pope Innocente. It's just, but the funny thing is, he looks like Gene Hackman.
Who, the Pope?
Yeah. I don't know if you can I'll have a look and I show you. Maybe.
Did you ever look at Caravaggio?
Yeah.
He's some awesome stuff. Now there's a crazy. He had a crazy life. Violent.
Oh, Pope by. Just a moment. Look. I swear it's a Gene Hackman.
He's a brilliant actor, actually.
No, he died, but
very dodgy, his death, no? Yeah.
Can you show it to the...
In the eyes, it's in the eyes, isn't it?
Yeah, but the face also. He looks like a Gene Hackman. I don't know if it'll be visible, but...
Okay.
And imagine this is a 16th century portrait. But it looks so live. It almost looks like...
very good.
Like a photograph. And so that's the Velasquez. And she came to me and she says to me, Daddy, you probably know some things about him. Can you tell me about his life and everything? So I start talking with her, and we ended up talking maybe a week or so, because she says to me, okay, can you show me his paintings and tell me what they mean? So I went through the 25. I said, okay, I'll pick up 25. He painted more, but I'll pick up 25. I just my favorite ones. And we were sitting every day, and and taking 1, 2, 3, and talking about them. And I was showing her, and she was stunned. She says, "Daddy, I need you to write down all what we said." So I sat down and I was gradually writing them. I didn't finish it yet. I have to edit it and everything, but I have the whole story roughly ready. 25 portraits. I probably go into, if it probably be the book, it'll go like a hardcover with the portraits inside.
Oh yeah.
And then you have each chapter about, and it traces whole his life since he started painting. He was maybe 15 or 14 till he died, like in an old age. And his story through the 25 cool. Paintings he did. And then I said to myself, okay, I did this. It still needs some work, but it's not very far from being completed. But then, why I can't go and write about other painters?
Yeah.
So I went with the Canaletto, and I went with the Titian. And I have blueprints for these two books. But,
the blueprints.
Yeah, but then, like I said, I never work with the one thing. I usually work with the 2 or 3 things at the time, because I can take my mind off something, and I'm having a rest from this topic, and I'm shifting. So it's just for the mental well-being. But you can only work like with the 2 or 3. You can't work with the 5 or 6.
But there's so many artists in history that are just wow.
Yeah, so
you'd love to fucking
maybe
do that
I'll do
with.
the series. But my little one says to me, Maria, Daddy, why not to do that? You do the series with the 3 books with the lectures, literary lectures. So do the series with the
artists,
art history lectures or something.
You're totally gonna love this blind boy guy, because he's an artist. He went to art college. He's big in art history and all of that jazz. I wouldn't have. I mean, I got kicked out of my interviews for art college, for God's sake, because I was a bit temperamental. I misunderstood some questions and I got a bit. No, I can understand. I wasn't aggressive, but from his perspective, I'd say he thought I was a psycho.
But you know what? I think it takes psycho to do the art. If you engage yourself with any form of artistic expression, sorry for the expression, you're not a normal being. You're not normal human.
Normal is the lie.
Yeah, you have to be you have to be psycho. You have to be psycho to paint something like that, or like that. I know it's a horse, but you see what I like about this painting. It's the way how the hair and the neck is light up, and how the snout and the face and everything is hidden in the shadow, but the eye is protruding from the shadow as well. So you see the legs. It's this. You see the portrait, and you see the movement on the portrait, not because it's depicted, but because it's meaning, the movement.
Yeah.
And then you have 3 lines, and people sitting and thinking, okay, what's the story with the line? Maybe symbolizing tracing the movement of the head, or maybe they tracing the movement of the leg. You could think whatever you want to think, but you spin somebody's mind.
Yeah.
And you can't be normal to do that, because normal average person would draw the horse and okay, that's the horse.
No, you can't.
And everyone, horse, how it looks, everyone knows how.
If
the
I'm
horse
doing
looks.
your portrait, I look at doing your portrait like I look at when I'm doing the horse. Same thing, as in like the horse is equal to the man.
Yeah.
In love, and same here. I mean, this is. I love this painting.
No, but I like this very much as well. But I love this horse. For that reason, we have in Tifam at the opening. It's a full page, if I remember, with this.
Yes,
horse. It's just it's so nice. It's so lovely. I just especially the way how the light works on it. It's just the neck. It's very highlighted, and the rest of the face and everything. It's just it's almost dark. Not even the dark, but it's very shady. And you see the protruding eyes, which is not even the very light up as well, but
just enough.
You notice the eyes instantly.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But then I was thinking, oh Jesus, we had to be sore because his hairs are going into the eye. But you see, you making me think. You making the mind spin, and I see the horse, but I don't see the painting like that. I see the horse. That's the big difference. When you look at the art, I don't see the painting. I see the bird want to go, or want to be free, want to free itself from the canvas, and you can interpret it however you want.
Oh, so many
you
ways.
can interpret it like, but for me, when I look at it, it's the first thing. It's just this bird wants to be free, really. But you see,
and that can burn you to death.
No, it's evoking, and if it's evoking. Not even conclusion, but if it's evoking a reaction, any thought, so it means it's art. Otherwise, if you just look and see the canvas and the portrait or the painting, it means you did a shit job, but you didn't. Anyway.
Yeah, it's nice to kind of you go to war with them in a sense that you're emotionally driven, and hopefully some part of you thinks that the painting will have that emotion in it, and it'll go to the viewer, if you know what I mean, and mess with them a little.
Yeah, Velasquez has the very peculiar things of showing the he really wanted. He went into this stage that nobody known him, that he was the main person who was doing the art and the portraits of the Spanish king, and he became very good friend with the king. They have some kind of bond, and but he wanted only one thing to be acknowledged and to be gentrified. You know, he wanted to be a noble.
Oh Christ!
He's
gone down in my estimation now.
Yeah, he wanted to be a noble. I don't know. He was looking for the position, and there is one picture. One of his famous. It calls La Messina, and it shows the infant Austrian princess within a whole court and the people around, and we're looking at it from the perspective of the parents, of her parents, and then there is a lot of hidden meanings on the portrait.
Symbolism would have been huge.
Yeah, it's you could watch it. It's beautiful. The child is light up, but not in a very obvious way. Almost like this Moorish girl who's doing the these obvious things, and then she has on her back she has Jesus and the disciples accompanying her. Yeah. So it almost
everyday events. It's something otherworldly.
So he put all of them in his own studio. You have a portraits looking at you, people from the portraits. You have the people looking from the door. You have there's a lot of meanings. But the one thing is, he has a big red. He even portrayed himself that when he's doing this portrait of this girl. But the only thing which is odd, he has a big red cross here, and that was the symbol of the nobleman in Spain. So he wanted to show that he wants that through this portrait. Eventually he got it. He got it maybe a year or so. I don't remember how, just not very far before he died. First died his friend King, and then he died soon after him. But I think he cherished the friendship with the king. And there is a few portraits of the king, and you could see him younger and older, but you could see in these portraits, you could see the Velasquez, that he's not painting the king, that he's painting the friend.
Yeah.
It's very... The other thing is surrender of Breda. It's just... you have this portrait of the town Breda that was sieged, and then the... people from the town, they come in with the key and surrendering, and occupying forces taking the keys from the Burgermeister, or how they call it, I don't remember. Anyway, it shows that was the war, that was the siege, that ended, and these people are looking at each other not like enemy, but like people who took their part in some events that unfold behind their own will, So the people who come with the town keys and to surrender, they're not depicted as a humble thing. The funny thing is that you could see the guilt and everything on the other side, on the people who won, that they takes the key, but. If you look at that portrait, there's a lot of figures. I don't know, but tens of them. They're staying in the different places with the pike swords and the things in the armors. But it's very steady, because you could see the man who takes the commander of the occupying force, the man who takes the key, and then the Lord Mayor of the town, and it's totally, it's making everything upside down.
Reversed.
Yeah, reverse. So for that reason, I love so much Velasquez, because you could look at his portrait, you can find a lot of things and the meanings, and every time you look, you find something new.
Yeah.
For that reason, but if any of you have a time, I implore you really go to National Gallery and to look at this portrait of the maid. It's amazing.
When are you going to get this book out of this artist?
I don't know if I need to finish it.
Finish it.
Maybe. Well, it's amazing.
See it.
It's just Velasquez. It's one of my favorite painters. Anyway, but I could talk about him and the portraits and and his paintings constantly. But the conclusion is, if you have children, if you have courage children, never discourage them. Always encourage them to come to you and to even and never dismiss them if they want you to do something. It's
I just know dismissing ours.
It's just crazy because sometimes I wouldn't, half of the books I wrote, I wouldn't even touch them if it's not for her.
Yeah. That's a beautiful thing to have.
For the little one. So I think that my biggest muse and my biggest inspiration in life to write is my daughter.
That's cool.
It's cool. It's very cool.
And another thing that's cool, if I keep telling people, and I'm not joking, it's not a ploy to get them onto a podcast, or even maybe I'm telling them to do a podcast because what they're doing, I think they should. But it's like your kids will have something to look back at when you're in your moment talking about your thing, and you're glowing about it, or maybe you're having a laugh, and that could be a great comfort to them, you know.
Oh yeah, that's true. For example, look, I have my parents. I have a lot of pictures of them, mom and dad, but I actually have only one film when I can hear their voices and the faces and everything. And it was, I got the phone here in Ireland, I came back, it was 2007 or something. I started to record them and they were shouting at me, stop doing that, the dog was barking around. But this is my last instance that I see them talking and I hear, because however your life goes, however you love your relatives, your lost relatives, your moms, dads, your uncles, your aunties, your grandmothers, at some instance, their voices, the living voices, they get dull. You would recognize the voice, but you can't reproduce it in your head after 10, 20, 15 years when they're gone. So to having something on the a real record and the real voice and everything, I think we're blessed because our parents and their parents, they did not have this opportunity to preserve the, I can look at that. And it can
be a comfort as well.
Yeah, this is a big comfort because I can look at this short, it has maybe a minute or so. But
you're recharged.
Yeah, but whenever I want to hear my dad's voice or my mom's voice, I'm just repeating it. And then I remember the voice sometime, and then when it's getting dull and when it's dissolved in my memory, so I put it again.
Do you ever think, in the time we live in now, say you get your favourite book.
Sorry?
Say you got your favourite book and you put it into the AI bullshit and put the clip of your dad's voice in for the little bit you have, and then you get it back with your dad reading the whole book in his voice.
It's not a bad idea, but I don't know if I wouldn't be frightened.
How would you be frightened?
But he was reading my book. He read my books actually. He read them. No, he did not get to read this one because he was gone. But he read the short ones. He read the theatrical plays, and you see, he was a scholar. He was a doctor. He was a PhD of chemistry, and he knew 7 languages or something like that. And he, whatever he took it, especially he was reading like a crazy. He had hundreds of books. I have them all now. So he was raised on the written word as well. It made him who he was.
Yeah.
So whenever he took some of my things, he read them, and some of them he really liked the historical articles that I was doing for the newspapers or the international affairs, but especially like a comedy is like the theatrical plays or the other things. He says it to me once. I like it. Maybe it's not for me, but I most certainly I like it. So I know he wouldn't have very big and very high opinion about them. But the other thing is he was military, and everything what he was doing, it was since the first stroke to the last word or anything he was touching, it was made to the utter perfection. You could not achieve this level of perfection. He was like almost like a machine, like a divine thing. That everything what he was doing, it was nearly inhuman, impossible for the human to achieve.
Focus.
Yeah, but it was terrifying. On the you could envy, you could be humble with this, but on the other hand, it was terrifying because whatever you've been doing
To make you so focused.
He was looking at the people, and probably at me and everyone around, not from the perspective from his perspective. So if he seen, I don't know, a spot on my copybook that was, he says, no, it has to be right again. I said, why? No, the handwriting is good, it looks okay, but you left a spot here, ink spot or something. It can't be like this, it's untidy. But everything, when he was writing, this writing would look like a print almost.
Yeah.
No, I have a very good character as well.
But is that more to do with his time?
I think, I don't know, maybe it's in time, but every single thing, I'll ask my wife, but I won't take it. Every single thing
There's mine.
I was doing, he was doing, it was utterly perfect. So I think if I would achieve half of it, like he was, I would consider myself successful.
Yeah, well, do you wanna spin out your website name there for people?
Yeah, it's like I said, the only thing is if you type in Martin Smallridge writer's blog, it should pop up on everything. The first place. Other than that, I think we exhausted all the topics for today.
Well, we've just hit the 3 marks, so we'll conclude. Will we go for a coffee?
Yeah.
Cool.